let's see how we're looking here. All right, it says we're live. And then trying to see if it shows up on your YouTube. Man, I'm not seeing it right now. That
It
is
might take it a
fucking
minute because
stupid.
it's showing that it's streaming on
Okay.
YouTube for me, like in the top
Okay.
corner. So I'm turning
Okay.
my phone volume all the way down.
Oh yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I see it now.
Okay, Woo! That was rough.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. God damn it, Shelton. All right. Now I'm
There
gonna
we go.
share this
We're in
out.
both channels now. Perfect.
Oh, okay. There we go. All right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in the alumni group because they're the ones that I got excited earlier.
Yeah, so we went live earlier with the news about Charlie Kirk's assassination, because that's ultimately what it was. I thought it was really important to discuss it as it was happening because I knew that we had other stuff that would relate in tonight's conversation, and like wanted to be able to bring all of that in without having to rehash everything.
So now tonight's conversation, guys, I had done a video yesterday on the subject, and it is the phrase "law-abiding citizen" and why we should stop saying it. It's something, like I said in that video, that you will not hear you will not hear me call myself a law-abiding citizen, and that's not because I'm trying to say I'm the bad guy or anything crazy. What I am saying is that not all our laws are good. And so if the laws aren't good, I don't want to call myself a law-abiding citizen, because when I say law-abiding citizen or call myself that, it sounds like I'm saying that the laws are good. Now,
It
Kayla,
is so Andrew sent me the video he did yesterday, and I was like, let's have a whole conversation about that tomorrow on the live stream. And the point that I think that we were both getting at is that it is subliminal messaging to trick your brain into believing that just because something is a law, it is just if you call yourself a law-abiding citizen. Like it's one of those, it's not going to work on everybody. Like it's not going to work on everybody, but it does work on some people. And if it works on anybody, that's too much. Like we don't want you to be subliminally messaged.
Yeah. And and we can think about too, like I've definitely had the interactions where they're like, that's illegal, you're not allowed to do that, and guys are freaking out over something. It's like, okay, does doing that law, following that law, doing the legal thing, does that make me better? Does that make me a good guy? And the example I use in the video would be like, you're picking your kid up early from school. You are totally not allowed to have a gun in that school. It is so illegal. Now, so you put your gun away, you walk in to pick up your kid, and now you and your kid and a bunch of other kids are dead because you're a law-abiding citizen. Because you're abiding by the law. And, there's so many gun YouTube and conservative YouTube people that proliferate this phrase of law-abiding citizen. And the thing
Let's
I always
pause
hear
for just a second. We were guilty of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Me
we
too.
were a part of that.
Yeah, me too.
Until you started doing like deeper thinking and realizing like, hey, this is what the cause of us falling like prey to that is.
Mm-hmm.
Who is this?
I know, everyone's saying hello. I'm reminding you, I'm not going to say hello to you if you say that. You have to say, who is this? But yeah, so where was I at? Sorry.
So I made you pause when you said the gun culture, like the gun community. You have a lot of channels that still tout the gun, the law-abiding citizen viewpoint.
Yeah, and they're trying to make it sound, because it's apologetic. phrase, in my opinion, and apologetic language. It's trying to trying to make us look like the good guys when it's like we don't have to say that. We don't have to try to make us look like the good guys in the
Do
first
you
place.
mean it's almost like that whole nice guys don't have to tell you they're nice?
Yeah.
They show you? Oh, okay. Just,
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
factor. And it's like it goes deeper than that even because okay, so first off, it's like the phrase modern sporting rifle. And this is another video I did the other day. I don't know if I posted it yet, but it's like, what does modern sporting rifle say? It's like, oh, don't worry, it's not the scary version. It only shoots one bullet when I press the trigger. And then conservatives get up and they say, oh, it's a modern sporting rifle. You know what that is? That is apologizing for owning a weapon that it's a God-given right to own. Like even
Mhm.
I think your dad pissed off people one time when he said something along the lines of there shouldn't be a Second Amendment because that gives them the target.
Yeah.
It gives them something to attack. And
Like it, they wrote it like it shouldn't have had to exist, but
yeah,
like, the fact that they're like, oh shit, we know they're going to need this one day was kind of almost a self-fulfilling prophecy
mhm,
because writing it into the Constitution did give them some, like, that was just the accepted standard
mhm,
at that point. And then putting it into the Constitution was like, well, duh. But now it's like, it's not well, duh anymore.
mhm. And so that's where like the hijacking of our language and the apologetic language that we use. Like again, oh no, it's a modern sporting rifle, and again, I'm just thinking back to the videos I recorded within the past couple of days. The other one would be like, oh, I got my permit. Like, no, stop. You should be allowed to own machine guns and explosives. You should not be required to have a permit. And also, a lot of our laws are fucked up and retarded and evil. So we need
If,
to stop putting it in a positive light.
if you look at the context surrounding the Second Amendment, like look at the other documentation outside of the Constitution, like in the diaries and the like or journals. Is that the manlier word? The journals of our founding fathers. If you look at the documents related to the Second Amendment, it was entirely about being able to stand up to the government. Its entire use was to prevent tyranny. Like
Mhm.
the whole thing. The fact that over time, trying to be apologetic about what it was intended to be used for has changed the very meaning of it speaks exactly to what you're talking about right now. And when looking at it through the context of the other documents and ensuring that we are allowed to fight back against freedom, that we have the right to fight back against a tyrannical government, it like it says the verdict is that the average United States citizen, every man, woman, child, like the United States, or sorry, yeah, the citizens should have access to what the average infantryman has access to in the government. So, like, when people want to go crazy with the Second Amendment, because this is how they got us to where we're at, was, oh, so you should have access to nukes. You should have access to the like big bombs and stuff like that. Like, no, that's not what everyday soldiers have access to. That they do have access to fucking grenades. They do have access to machine guns. They do have access to short barreled rifles and pistols and all of the other stuff. There's only this much stuff we shouldn't, like, without regulation, have access to.
And whenever someone has brought up that, like, oh, you think they should have nukes? My answer is yes, fuck you. But it's also, think about it like this. Name one person who has access to nukes right now who you trust with nukes.
And that's
so it's like
ultimately like what it boils down to is we're all sitting here. The people who are calling for this legislation are the same people who hate like the MAGA side of things, which is the supposedly the more positive side of the gun control debate. That's who they're trying to give the power to. Like the same people calling for gun control, like bringing it back to current events. I told you right before we hopped on this stream that when Charlie Kirk was shot and killed, he was discussing gun violence and gun control. Like that was the question he was shot in the middle of answering today. And he, like, his answer was that bloodshed is required for your rights to exist. Like it makes it worth it. And I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not, so internet, I know you're going to tell me I'm wrong. Go for it. I'm paraphrasing. But like to have that where you've got somebody who is the very representation of what you stand against to be murdered by the thing that you say is evil. If your reaction to that is we should give all of the evil power to the evil people we already believe are in charge, like I think there's something wrong with you. Like it doesn't make sense to me logically. And I knew what was going to happen. Dave just said AOC is already trying to politicize Kirk's death call for some common sense gun control. But that's the point of mine and Andrew's whole conversation tonight, is that we have allowed ourselves to get here through the degradation of our language, allowing it to mean words that it doesn't mean. Like the very definition of vaccine being changed to make the COVID vaccine work, to be called a vaccine, to get the emergency approval, to do all the things. Like we are allowing our language to be completely degraded, not using words that mean what they should mean, what historically they have always meant. And the cycle that you put up earlier, where like through the whole, that cycle, we have, by the time we recognized our dependence, we had already requested bondage. It was like the passive aggressive versus aggressive forms of like creating dependence. And like they dangled dependence, like aggressive dependence in front of us, while covertly passive aggressively making us dependent as well through changing of languages, getting rid of skills, all of those things. But people are saying leftist and right, like it's not just the left.
Yeah.
It's not just the left. It is the extremist on both sides.
Well, back to this, the simple, like everyday language we have, like has a huge impact on our culture, right? So the law-abiding citizen one, again, my big problem is that people are putting, when you say like, you call yourself a law-abiding citizen, you're saying you're proud of that. You're saying that that's a good thing, right? And my argument against that is, okay, first off, look at how many laws are really bad for us. And then look at who's actually held to the standard of that law. Because when we look at politicians, are they held to the same standard as we are?
It's not just, but like even further than that, at every single level of the law, it's a pay to play system.
Yep.
And like people talk about racism in America and everything like that. Like I don't think that racism is the problem we think it is. I think it's like a class system, and they've always tried to paint it as a race issue.
Yeah, and there's a whole rabbit hole that I think we should have Kevin Dixie on here to talk about as far as like the why behind a lot of stuff. I don't really want to go too into that right now. It's like I think racism is a real thing.
Oh, absolutely a real thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
ultimately, where the problem happens isn't between skin colors, it's between who can pay to do stuff and who can't.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as the law goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. And yeah, it's at every level. And that's something I said in the video too, is like, think about the politicians who make the laws, who sign the bills.
Mhm.
Think about the prosecutors and the judges, and then think about the cops too. Like what really happens to them? Like, like, 'cause I've seen plenty of videos where I'm like, huh, if I did that to someone who didn't deserve it, I would get charged with assault, like battery.
Mhm.
Like it would be really bad for me. The cop does not get in trouble for that the same way. And this is a conversation we had. We did a podcast a while back, and oh shit, what was I just thinking of? We had a conversation on that a while back, but it's like it's like it's not, there's reasons why people get into those situations, first off, that we don't fully understand, but it's also like we aren't treated humanely, like especially
No.
not when you get thrown into prison. Like there is a Instagram channel called Delete Laws. He refers to handcuffs as torture cuffs, and the more I watch his videos, I'm really starting to agree with them.
So this is like where language matters.
Mm-hmm.
There is an unwritten part of every law that if it were written, we would have a bigger problem with the laws that are written. And that is enforceable at gunpoint. So if the law read that instead of reading that you could be jailed or fined for speeding, if it read you could be jailed or shot in the face for speeding, we might take a second look at what we consider to put as a law.
Yes.
Like, is this worth shooting someone in the face over? Because that's what you're risking every single time. So it goes beyond like just changing up the definition. They are intentionally leaving parts of the language off so that you don't pick up on it.
Yeah, and thank you, because that's the one I was trying to remember, that point. You can get shot in the face over it. And it's also like, look at, man, it's like I was watching Chopper Cops, which is a show about my county's helicopter cops. And they put an episode up where basically there was a sketchy car, right? The dude was probably burglarizing other cars, right? That's probably what he's up to. But it was just the whole call was a sketchy, dude is driving around. That's all it was.
Right.
They went to pull him over. He didn't pull over. He drove away. Then he went on to I-75 into ongoing traffic up to 100 miles an hour. And they kept chasing him. Over what? Over, hey, there's a suspicious car over here. That's what they were glorifying it. Like they were interviewing the officers, and they're like, well, I knew that in this moment I had to stop it because someone might get hurt. It's like, yeah, because you're fucking chasing them 100 miles an hour into oncoming traffic. Guess what
he wouldn't be doing if you weren't chasing him. And again, context matters, because if it's the difference of a violent felon trying to escape to go do further harm, you are weighing the risk there. Like that is risk management. But if it isn't, like, Dude, there have been like high-speed police chases over drugs that ended in a fatality, over a victimless crime. Because here's the thing, drugs do not have victims. Like, there is no victim to the crime of using drugs besides the person doing it to themselves. Like, there is not a victim. What? And then people's argument to that is, no, but drug use makes this more likely and this more likely. Okay, so then give harsher punishment for that. There are people out there doing like all kinds of drugs that ain't doing shit else wrong. Like, where's the victim? If nobody is getting hurt, nobody is losing life or property over it, how is it a crime?
And that's the other thing too, is that guy they were chasing. I'm pretty sure all that happened is they found some weed in his car. In the end, he got 2 years in jail. So they risked everyone's life on that road.
They risked an eternal punishment for not only that individual, but every citizen they encountered for weed, which brings to my next point. And you were talking about, look at the politicians, like the laws that they write and how differently it's applied to them. They also build in a safeguard. Look at how many years you get for crimes that they don't typically commit versus how many years you get for crimes that they do commit. You know, pedophilia, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a built-in system.
Even like I've seen a lot of different stories about how a dude who commits the sexual assault on either an adult or a minor ends up getting less time than someone who takes revenge on a sexual assault. Yep. It's like, okay, so it's like, okay, also which crime is worse? so like, it's not only that we do have evil laws, in my opinion, but also the system itself is retarded. Like, we're going to throw someone in prison for killing the dude who raped her for a longer amount of time than we will a pedo.
The dude who instigated the entire event. And but here's the thing. It's our own fucking fault. Because do you know how we get rid of stupid laws? Jury nullification. That's how we get rid of stupid laws. But everybody and their damn mama does everything they can to get out of being on the jury, to get out of being a juror. If you can't get out of jury duty, it's because you weren't smart enough to. And those are the people who are sitting and listening to the trials happening right now. Like, it is insane to me. It's our own fault. We did it to ourselves. Like, if you have ever intentionally gotten out of jury duty and you didn't have to, you're part of the problem. I'm sorry. Hot take. Yep. You're part of the problem.
Yep. Yeah, you can't complain about the consequences of that later.
No. Like, I show up every time I'm called. I've been called a couple of times. I show up every time I'm called. With it at all. But I try. But they even know, like, don't tell them you know that, or you won't get accepted on the jury.
Yeah, they want to win. And so,
but no,
okay,
like,
so
let's get back to the degradation of language, like how they are using language to change us.
Yeah. So, okay. There's one that was really popular, and that was the silent majority. Talking about, and I again, I'm pretty much done with Trump. Like, hopefully he's good. I don't think so. But so the silent majority was the term used for everyone who was like not a Democrat, not down with a socialist agenda. And that term itself is meant to make you shut up. We're the silent majority is going to get them. And they'd be like, oh, you know, don't say this at the dinner table or whatever, you know, like, don't speak your mind. Don't speak up about shit that you believe in, because it's all right. We're going to vote our way out of this. Don't worry.
So on that one because I don't know if, like, I'm sure there's some subliminal messaging there, but I think it was a happy accident because the majority of people are your everyday people who don't have the passion to be loud about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's true. The majority is silent. Like they might shit talk on Facebook or social media, but the majority of people don't go out and protest. The majority of people don't show up at congressional hearings and question their representatives. The majority of people are quiet. So instead of like the lesson that we take from that specific phrase, I like stop being the silent majority. Quit acting like it's a good thing. It just means you lack passion.
The thing that I saw for myself where it was like people being a silent majority would be stuff like, at work, even when they're the guy who owns the company, they won't
Mm-hmm.
speak on certain subjects. Like, one thing is like when companies or dudes that own a company will be like, I don't know, I never talk politics because they have money and they have money. And it's like, okay, now you're more concerned over a profit margin than the future for your children. That's my take on it. I'm not saying that it's horrible if someone's like that, but that's where I'm like, that to me is unacceptable.
Let
I
me
think,
offer a different perspective.
yeah, go ahead.
I think that not speaking on it uh, without the passion, like if you, the people who don't speak on it, it's not, I don't think it's because they're putting profits over family. I think it's because they lack the passion. And to me, like, I will absolutely have any of the conversations.
Hmm.
But I will still make sure that the friends that I have that have a differing opinion than I do, still feel okay with me. Like I said earlier, I don't end relationships over politics.
Hmm.
And so the different perspective that I want to offer, like, because I think that people who approach um, a debate outside of just like literally, like quite literally being loud, are often categorized within that silent majority when it's not true. Because for me, I want for both sides, because like it ultimately it's going to come down into like one side versus the other. Um, I want both sides to have difficulty shooting into the other crowd.
Oh
So
yeah.
I want to maintain friendships with people who have dissenting opinions for me, not only to make sure that I don't end up in a fucking circle jerk, but also to ensure that like it's harder for them to follow through, just like it should be harder for me to follow through with the violence necessary. Like you should always approach violence as a like the understanding of like what it's costing you. So you've got to make sure that the violence is worth it. So I think it holds us accountable maintaining relationships with people on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah.
So keeping like without jumping to an extreme ideology, like part of not expressing that might be to be able to maintain that friendship on both sides or that relationship on both sides. So I don't necessarily think that the motivation behind it is like them being a pussy. I think that there might be more thoughtful processes that go into it.
Sure. Sure. But my thing is like when people aren't speaking up on like issues that are critical, like hey, Epstein's Island is happening. That's a critical thing. Or like, and you and I disagree on some of these issues, right? Like,
Yeah.
but like I'm against the transgender book club, right?
Yeah.
Issues like that. If you're not willing to say anything, and I think that can become a problem. And a part of it too, because you said for a friend, if you thought I was seriously fucked up in the way I treated my wife, you would tell me
Yeah.
as a friend, right?
Yeah.
And if I didn't change, I would no longer be a friend.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a part of it too, where it's like the silent part is unacceptable. And I think using that phrase of silent majority, like when the majority of Americans, and let's say not even just left right thing, but the majority of Americans see a critical issue going on, like that whole calling yourselves the silent majority, I think just makes people quieter. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I just read Ed's comment. Silent majority allows people to feel good about themselves and absolved of responsibility.
Yes, exactly.
I totally with you there. The perspective I was offering is that there are people who are comfortable being part of the silent majority. And then there are people who are encompassed within that group that aren't truly part of the silent majority. Like they're loud, they're just not loud at the same level as extremists. I don't want us to get so far on opposite ends of things to back each other up against walls to where we can't meet in the middle somewhere. And so I don't want that middle crowd to get lost along the way.
Yeah, I don't view the silent majority as a dude who's not loud. I purely in the language, silent. Someone who
Right.
just doesn't say anything when there's something objectively bad going on.
Like ultimately, all it takes for evil to prevail is for good men to stand idly by and do nothing.
Exactly.
So I'm all about being loud and passionate. I think that when we were talking about the degradation of language, that might have been a happy byproduct. I don't think that one was intentional.
All right.
Like that, it just kind of all got encompassed into that one thing. Now, the one that I would like us to discuss is the word safe.
Okay. Yeah. So for anyone who hasn't heard me talk on this or watched the video I did on it, think right now, what does the definition of the word safe mean? What is safe? And then I'll go ahead and give it to you. Let me grab my piece of paper. And this is the same thing that originally spawned this conversation, that words have meaning. But from Merriam-Webster, safe means from or free from harm or risk, secure from threat of danger, harm, or loss, affording safety or security from danger, risk, or difficulty. But really, like that third one is different from the first one. Affording safety or security from danger, risk, or difficulty is not free from harm or risk. So this is where it's like the real definition of safe means that there's no danger. We've been using it in a way where it's like, really, we should say we're managing risks. We're managing the risk of danger.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Because you know that you and I, like, we agree,
Yep.
like, I agree with you to a point about most of this stuff. But, like, when my brain hears we specifically referenced it about gun safety rules.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow those rules, if you don't touch the trigger, if you don't have the gun pointed at something, if you treat it like it's loaded, and you know what it's pointed at and what it's not pointed at, it is inherently safe.
Mm-hmm.
Just the not touching the trigger part makes it inherently safe. Like, so if they are followed to a T, like, I'm trying to think of the word, literally speaking, if they are followed to a T, technically you are void of danger. Technically. And that's where it's like, I agree.
But the reason why technically comes in is because it's conditional.
Right. And that's why I'm like, I agree to a point. Like, and that's where the argument kind of, it goes back and forth on should we change the verbiage of that, because following the safety rules the gun safety rules allow us to be free of danger from that gun if we strive for perfection.
Yeah, but
And if you perfectly follow them, then you are. But you have to bring in all of the other stuff. So do you change the goalpost to give more realistic expectations and put more emphasis on the language that we're using? Or do you use it as like, this is what we're striving for, and it allows no room for error? It like shows the gravity of each error.
Well, and
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
I know, but for me to fully play devil's advocate, I'd have to release stuff that we're trying to not put on the internet. So I would just say, for those who, and Kayla was there too, so she knows exactly what I'm saying right now.
I do.
But for those of you who were in Gunfight Club at Alumni Weekend, you know what I'm thinking, and
yeah,
basically conditionally makes you safe to a point, then it actually puts you in danger in a way. But come to class to find out more.
Yeah.
Because I don't have control of context when I make a video.
Yeah. But pause for just a second. Like, that's one of people's fears when speaking out on issues. Is that we are going to be taken out of context. And while ultimately you can say, like, hey, you should be saying something about this, if this affects your kid's future, like, okay, but if it costs me everything, that saying something is affecting my kid's present. And like, we've had to play the game. Like, we are jumping through all kind of hoops for YouTube right now. Like, me and you actively right now, we are playing that game. Yeah. So it's one of those, like, it's really hard. Back to the same question I had at the end of our like religion conversation earlier. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah. And in a language context, man, I don't know, man. We've had so much talking that my brain is starting to get fried. But it's like, in a language context, I would say it depends. And with everything, I think it depends. And so it's like, for instance, I could say the thing I want to say, and you know what? It would open up, it would get me some more students. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But it would also scare the shit out of a lot of people. It would get some people hurt, I'm sure, too, eventually. It would save some people too.
Right.
But that's also where it's kind of like, those who care will be in class.
Just a spider in my hair.
Oh yeah? Stop putting spiders in your hair.
Yep, now I'm discombobulated.
I want to bring it back to the laws part though.
Yeah.
So like, basically we just had a conversation about how our language affects our culture. And honestly, that wasn't so much of the thing I was thinking about. I was more like, initially with all this, I mean, I was thinking culture within specifically what we do. So that's why I addressed like the word safe, the word advanced. I've got others I want to get into. Professional would be one. And the way that, like, when people use language in certain ways, it really starts to lose its meaning. And that's where I started the Words Have Meaning video series. And I'm now doing the Stop Saying This video series. And so I more want to stay on the subject of, for this live stream, of the laws aren't necessarily good. So the one I wanted to hit on the most, we talked about, we gave that one active shooter at school example. We talked about how we're held at a different standard than everyone else in the legal system. But I want you guys to also think about, and Kayla, if you got examples, what are laws that we have, let's say, that we've had in history that were bad? Because back to that active shooter example, if you are picking your kid up early from school and there was an active shooter when you were there, if you took your gun off to be a law-abiding citizen, that actually makes you a bad guy because you're arming the criminal. You were not able to stop the criminal because you, in this, again, hypothetical scenario, you weren't able to stop the criminal because you disarmed yourself, and that can make you and your kid dead because of that, because you're being a law-abiding citizen. So that makes that law bad and makes you bad for letting people die because of that. If you break the law, makes you good because you stop the bad guy, you do a good thing, right? So what other things have there been in our history? What other laws have there been where you not following them makes you a good guy? I can think of one simple, super simple example right now, but Kayla, do you got any on your mind?
I mean, historically speaking, we used to be allowed to own people. And I believe that not participating in owning other people makes me a better person.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't, if in fact, if you help those people not be owned by those people, I think that makes you a good person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Like, and that, but it goes like, let's continue on historically. After we stopped considering people like trade-worthy property, we moved on to just considering like women. They weren't technically property; they were property adjacent. So like halfway a citizen. Like, I'm a girl. It used to be illegal for me to vote. Like, I couldn't. I couldn't own land. And so my thing is like, if you participated in that, like, no, we're law-abiding citizens. If you declined me to purchase a piece of property because the government says I can't because of what's in between my legs, I think you're a worse person. Like, just I don't think that you are a good person if you obey that law. I kind of feel like I'm like different but equal to a man, like citizen wise, like the amount of say that I should have in my own destiny, in my own life.
And then I can think of one more recently is like reporting people who aren't wearing a mask, reporting people who are having a kid's birthday party. You think you're a good guy for making sure everyone's abiding by these laws?
Yeah, when I watched the guy get arrested surfing alone on a beach, completely by himself, social distancing, and I watched them arrest him, take him to jail where he was no longer social distancing, and exposed him to a lot of other people who had potentially been exposed to this deadly virus so deadly that it was dangerous to be alone at the beach. Like, I don't think those cops were good guys.
No. And that's one of the biggest things is like, is the enforcers following those rules? I watched a podcast recently. Got tipped off from one of our mutual friends on it, but we'll leave names out. But it was a cop firearms instructor who is talking about how he got asked by someone like, hey, you know, because it was in New York. He's like, do I have to keep my gun legal if I come to your class? And he told him, well, I'd hate to have to work twice that day or work on my day off. So he's like, yeah, I'll arrest you for that. First off, guys, please, like that. And I'm not telling you, I'm not trying to drum up my own business. Please don't support those people. Like, don't do that.
Do I know the person who said that?
No, okay. I don't think so. I would doubt it. But anyways, there's a cop firearms instructor who said it. And then he went on to talk about, he's like, yeah, you know, like, I may not like this law and you guys may not like that, but you start, we get orders and we got our pension to think about. And like, cool. So you're gonna be the bad guy so that you get to live comfortably as an old guy. And so it's like, okay, where's the line in the sand for someone like that, the enforcer enforcing the evil rule? Like, where do they draw the line? And we can think back to like those experiments that were done where they took college kids and had them keep turning the knob until they thought literally they killed someone because they were being told to do it. And also, Kayla, with our discussion on NPCs, it starts to make sense to me.
Well, like, and even going further than that, like looking at this from a constitutional standpoint, where like big government is bad, and that because the way that the Constitution was written was that it was guidelines for the government. Like, it wasn't supposed to be used against us.
Mm-hmm.
It was guidelines for the government. So specifically, the 10th Amendment says that if it wasn't specifically given to the federal government, that it's pretty much in the state's hands. Go deeper than that. If it wasn't specifically given to the state in the Constitution for them to have access over it, then it should be your county government. Even our county government. Brett Lashley, I will fucking name drop. Brett Lashley was the mayor in Camden at the time. And he was just like, I don't care about your rights. We're talking about saving lives here. So whatever it takes for me to make you guys listen to these mandates, not laws, mandates, I'll do it. And then that asshole had the audacity to show up at my house, knock on my door, and ask for my vote in the next election. Like, nah, man, we got beef. You ain't a king. You ain't a king. Like, this is, last I checked, like, you are not above the law. And the fact that more people did not call him out about that, because this is a small town and we're all neighbors here, and they grew up with Brett. Brett was a good guy and he's just doing what he thinks is best. So don't assign malicious intent. Like, turning up the Southern charm to make it like putting freaking lipstick on a pig. Like, no, I will not vote for you because what you did was wrong. And
you went quiet.
I my finger slipped. Like, that is part of not being the silent majority that I was talking about. Like, not even because we were taught like the literal definition of the people who just don't speak out, but like what you were saying, telling that politician to his face no, and why I wasn't going to vote for him again mattered.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? He did not get reelected. He thought he was going to, because nobody was willing to say shit to his face. So he thought he was going to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and when I say nobody, there were definitely people speaking up, but not, it was the minority of people who were willing to speak out about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mark said, I wish I could have heard that conversation. I was actually like pretty respectful.
You didn't get mad and yell?
It was like, and if you watch any of the live streams, like, people have seen me. I was so mad I was calm. Like,
Yeah.
The whole, like, if you've ever been in a fight with your girlfriend and she just starts like, and doesn't say anything, like, that's when you're really in trouble. That was my level of anger when he showed up and knocked on my door. Because I was just like, the audacity, sir. Like, the audacity for you to show up and treat me like I'm a citizen instead of a subject again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, high five, dude, but you ain't tricking me. Like, that was the tone of the conversation, was like extreme sarcasm and calling him out. Like, no, you absolutely treated me like a subject instead of a citizen. And I'm not going to vote for somebody who thinks he can be a king on a whim.
Mm-hmm. And it's like thinking about that too, because that kind of brings it back to one of the points I had made in my video is like, okay, if you're not following the mandates, like you're not enforcing those, like there were employers that were told like you gotta get everyone vaccinated or else you can't be open. The guys who didn't follow
Remind me to tell you about a doctor regarding that.
Okay.
Finish your thought, but go ahead.
You mean in the live stream or after?
Mm-hmm. No,
Okay.
in the live stream.
So the people that refused that, they were the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are certainly times where breaking the law is the right thing to do.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
And so it's like, okay, so then my thing is like, instead of saying like, oh, you're going to turn law-abiding citizens into criminals, I think it's better to say you're going to turn the criminals into the good guys. Mm-hmm. or something similar to that. If there's a better way we could word it, I'm all for it. But that's where I'm at right now. I don't want to say like, oh, the people that are following the current laws are going to become criminals. They can't. And then that just means the law-abiding citizens are going to law-abide again. So
right.
It gets to a point where our law is so upside down that the only good people left are the ones who don't follow it.
Mm-hmm. So there was a doctor during COVID who is now, I'm trying to remember what podcast I saw him on, but he come on to like an influencer's podcast and admitted that during the COVID pandemic, when it was mandated for his clinic that when it was the mandates were coming down that all healthcare professionals had to be vaccinated, he become a vaccine site. And not only did he give anybody that didn't want the vaccine at his clinic saline instead, that's all he gave children. Do no harm. Mm-hmm. So he, by like sticking to his oath, do no harm, he had to break the law. Mm-hmm. And like, it went further. I think it was the guy on Tucker Carlson. Like, I've watched so many things lately, like I can't remember whose is whose. But he went further than just saying like, no, we won't get vaccinated, because that didn't work. That's what I did. I didn't get vaccinated. I got fired for not getting vaccinated. I accepted the consequences, and like, this is the only protest I have. This is how I'm protesting. And I took to social media. I had a video go, like I protested in the ways I could. He took it even a step further, and he was like, oh, we're playing a game. I'll play your game. I'm going to one up you. And I'm going to make it to where I'm willing to break this law so that none of these people get deemed lawbreakers.
Yeah.
So that none of these people lose their job, so that they don't lose the means to provide for their family, so there's still food on the table to feed their kids at night.
I think there's a couple ways to go about that too, because it's like, I think him giving saline shots to kids is that next level one. Yep. But I would say when
I don't know that he would say yes to any legitimate vaccine. Like, I saw like a small snippet of the interview and did not get to watch all of it. So I heard him specifically referencing like he become a vaccine clinic so that he could give saline vaccines.
Yeah, it's the difference I see is if you're giving kids the saline shot, that was a good thing to do. That was the good thing. That was awesome. Okay. But when people were doing like I have a medical exemption and trying to still not say fuck you, but do a fake version to stay in it, there's that to me isn't the next level side. So it's like what you did was the next level. You said, no, I'm not going to fire me over it. And to me, that's like the difference between like what you did being like, fucking, I'll lose this job, and the cop saying, oh, I'm going to fucking send people to prison because they don't have the bullet button on their magazine release, and
Yeah.
they don't have a New York legal gun because I want my pension. You know, um, like like
He
that.
risked his license,
Mhm.
livelihood, and freedom to do what he did.
Yeah,
Like, if the equivalent to that now, he was part of the Underground Railroad during COVID.
yeah, yeah. It's the issue I had during that was when guys were getting fake vaccine cards instead of just completely saying no. You know,
But
and I'm not
hear me
faulting
out.
him.
My best friend in nursing school was a single mom of 3 children.
Mhm.
If she didn't take the vaccine,
Mhm.
she didn't have a way to provide food for her children's present.
Yeah.
Why is she not okay for getting it? If she got a fake vaccine card, she didn't. She ended up getting
No,
the vaccine. But why wouldn't it be okay for her to get a fake vaccine card as part of her protest? Like, that's as
I
far as she could go.
no, I'm fine with that, and I appreciate that. That like some people had no choice. Like for you and me, if we had the luxury of being able to say no.
I mean, like, we hurt from it. I went a little
Yeah,
while without a job over it.
yeah, but we weren't in her situation. Is what I'm saying.
No.
What my issue is when someone isn't in her situation and they're, again, in the sense of being silent. They're just kind of like, nah, I'm not gonna make noise on this. Like at a certain point, there does need to be noise made about it. But yeah, I get it. I get it for the single moms, or like, hey, shit's expensive now. It
Hmm.
it sucks. It's fucking hard right now. So I can appreciate for those people with everything. But when it was some of the people that I saw being like, yeah, we're just getting fake cards. I'm like, why aren't you just saying no? And they're still wearing the mask at places, and that was my issue. And
Hmm.
also, it's a different, even Florida versus Tennessee was, I'm sure, handled different. Like it was a different culture when it came to all that stuff.
Right.
Because
Oh, yeah. Bill
we're
Lee flipped the script real quick. He went, I think it was the Tuesday. He was just like, Tennessee is not going to be a part of falling to the victim to the fear. We are not going to force citizens to do this. Like, forcing
yeah,
people is wrong. No mandates will be put out. On Thursday, there were fucking mandates.
hmm
On Thursday, there were mandates.
And for me, and it could just be the areas I was in Florida, but it was not so much of an issue. In fact, it was kind of funny because it was after it all ended, I kind of missed being the only dude not wearing a mask. I was like, that felt cool. But it
No,
was also, I chose where I went. So it was I went into a Chinese place one time. They're like, you have to put a mask on. I walked out and never went there again. They're never going to receive $1 from me. Uh, I
like,
walked into Walmart one time and a guy was just like, the guy at the front was like, you have to, and I just went, no. And I kept walking through,
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I didn't get to do that all the time,
Do you know
but for
what
the
my
areas I was
favorite
in, I was able to just say no.
not necessarily with the mask, but this is a conversation that I had with numerous people who called me an idiot for being willing to lose my job over it. Um, like, what is the definition of consent? Like a digestible definition of consent.
You are agreeing to a thing.
Language matters here.
Yep.
True consent is a yes with the option of a safe no.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. I've heard you say that
So
before.
true
Yeah.
consent is a yes with the option of a safe no. What boggles my mind is, how does that make sense to you about a penis but not a needle?
Mm-hmm.
How does that make sense to you? Like, why does it only work if we're talking about a dick and not a needle? Because
Yeah.
if you the United States government did to its people, to like, if you took the analogy to a sexual assault, anybody that did not willingly get that vaccine was raped.
Mm-hmm.
They had something penetrate their body, injected into their body, evidence left behind of said intrusion into their body, and we're shut the fuck up. This is what it takes to be a law-abiding citizen.
Exactly.
So you're telling me that I have to be okay with being like literally, if I said these words, so you want me to be okay with being penetrated and evidence of that penetration left behind? If you didn't know the context of what I was talking about, you'd be like, holy shit, no. You throw the word vaccine in there and suddenly it's safe and okay.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
And that
No.
also comes from the language we've been using for a long time that was in our culture of like for instance,
The greater good.
yeah. And like we've talked about
The greater
before,
good. The United States is built on individual freedom. Sorry.
but let's go back 20 years ago and let's say I don't think there's something fishy about that other building exploding. What would they have said about you then if you said that in 2002 or 2001? Like, why did the building that didn't get hit by an airplane fall down? Now you get labeled, right? Just like you're a conspiracy theorist.
I wear that title as a badge of honor because,
but now you're an anti-vaxxer,
which is crazy because, we still get some vaccines.
I don't. I'm like, I'll take the risk on everything. I'm not taking anything.
Tetanus, I ain't risking that.
Okay.
I'm not risking tetanus.
I'm beyond the point of trust on any of them.
No, I get it. I get it. Weighing out the pros and the cons, like tetanus is a fucked up disease to die from, and where do you draw the line?
All right, so we could
we're 16 minutes over because we were late, so we wanted to give you guys the whole hour.
I need to give a shout out. So Tactical Response is coming to Florida. Hey, here in 10 days. They're gonna have fighting pistol and advanced fighting pistol in Titusville. Then we're gonna do, I don't think I have a thing for it, but we're gonna do immediate action medical in Bellevue, October 4th and 5th. And then we have also, and before immediate action medical, September 27th and 28th is the Combat Arts Summit in Gray, Kentucky at Taprack Ridge. I'll go ahead and share the Tactical Response discount code in the alumni group. If you have trained with any of the instructors on the list, when you go to combatortraining.com and train and go to the summit, on that page, if you've trained with any of the instructors on the list, they have a discount code for you. If you haven't, okay, next time you will have. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching. Keep fighting communism, kill all pedophiles.
This is the way.